And I give the floor to the representative of Greece.
Thank you, Madam President. Let me start by thanking Assistant Secretary General Ms. Martha Poby, Ms. Shayna Lewis, as well as Ambassador June Cook Huang, Chair of the 1591 Committee, for their comprehensive briefings. I also welcome the participation of the representatives of Sudan, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates. Madam President, since our last meeting on this file, the situation in Sudan has not improved. It has rather deteriorated further. Violence has intensified, particularly in and around El Fasser in North Darfur, as humanitarian access becomes increasingly restricted and fragile. Despite our repeated calls for restraint and respect for international law, conditions for civilians in Sudan are worsening day by day. Madam President, allow me to highlight 3 points. Firstly, as our briefers have illustrated, the scale of the humanitarian crisis reflects a severe and deepening tragedy for the civilian population. The brutal attack on June 2nd near Al-Qoma, which resulted in the killing of 5 humanitarian workers from WFP and UNICEF, is a reminder of the extreme danger faced by those trying to deliver life-saving aid. We fully condemn this act, as well as the repeated targeting of humanitarian convoys, health facilities, and civilian infrastructure. These are not isolated incidents. They form part of a broader pattern of obstruction, starvation tactics, and intimidation that may amount to war crimes under international law. Greece calls for immediate, safe, and unhindered humanitarian access. We welcome the extension of the Adr border crossing and urge all parties to build upon such steps to open additional routes in close cooperation with the United Nations and humanitarian actors. Secondly, we must urgently revive the political process. Greece supports this goal and fully backs the efforts of the Secretary General's personal envoy, Mr. Lamamra. Yet these efforts will only succeed if matched by genuine political will. We urge all parties to respect the Jeddah Declaration and engage in dialogue with a view to establishing a durable ceasefire and an inclusive transitional process that leaves no one behind. The voice of civil society, including women, youth, and displaced persons, must be heard and integrated into any future solution. Sudan's path forward must be Sudanese-owned, but internationally supported. Lastly, external interference must cease. Continued armed transfers and violations of the UN arms embargo are exacerbating the conflict and undermining regional stability. We remind all states of their obligations under Security Council resolutions and urge strict compliance. Greece also underscores the importance of accountability. Deliberate attacks against humanitarian personnel and civilians must not go unpunished. The credibility of this Council demands that impunity is not allowed to take root. To conclude, Madam President, Sudan's population has faced extraordinary and devastating challenges. They have shown resilience, but they deserve more than our sympathy. They deserve concrete action. Greece stands ready to work with all Council members to identify meaningful steps that will help protect civilians, support humanitarian delivery, and bring the parties back to the table. We continue to strongly support Sudan's sovereignty, territorial integrity, national unity, and a peaceful path forward. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Greece for his statement.